Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. I welcome you all the parents, especially the parents today, because you've taken your time out to be in this session today. Today, we are going to see the purpose of life from the eyes of scriptures. And then, after we discuss that, we'll discuss how the education that we are taking in these sessions, how this can help us in achieving the purpose of our life. So, first and foremost, I want to tell you that the purpose of life must give us constant happiness. As Subhas spoke in the last session, the constant happiness equals spiritual happiness. We are not going to experience constant happiness in the material gratifications. Spiritual happiness is the real happiness and which stays forever. Also, we discussed we are not here to make careers. What are we here for? We are here for higher purpose. We are here for our calling. So we all have to replace career to calling now. We are not here for careers. We are here for higher calling. We have to find that. That's the spiritual purpose. And what happens when we run after our careers, actually we limit our potential. But if we realize our spiritual potential, we will serve a much higher purpose of our life. And we will also achieve the constant happiness by doing that. It's very important for us to start thinking from the mindset of calling. What's my calling? Why am I here? भगवान ने मुझे यहाँ किस लिए भेजा है? मेरी जर्नी क्या है लाइफ की? What's my calling? So that's how we have to start seeing. And very important for us to understand is that gross body happiness is not the real happiness. It's temporary. You see, the very nature of this gross body is temporary. ग्रॉस बॉडी हमारा टेम्पररी है, अभी है कुछ टाइम के लिए और फिर नहीं रहेगा. वी ऑल नो दैट विल हैव टू पार्ट फ्रॉम दिस बॉडी. टुडे वी डोंट नो व्हेन, कब होगा, अब होगा या अब हम 10 साल जिएंगे, 20 साल जिएंगे, 50 साल जिएंगे, 80 साल जिएंगे. वी डोंट नो दैट. तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द टेम्पररीनेस ऑफ दिस बॉडी एंड परमानेंस ऑफ द सोल. And we have to see how this temporary body can only give temporary happiness. And once we get that happiness, it fuels us with some kind of ego, some kind of greed, or some kind of attachments, some kind of anger. ये सब आता है, भागवत गीता में सब दिया है. ये किस तरह से ये सब जब आता है तो वो जो हैप्पीनेस हमें मिली थी टेम्पररी, वो फिर से डिस्ट्रेस बन जाता है. सोल इज द इनर कॉन्सेप्ट एंड दिस बॉडी इज द आउटर कॉन्सेप्ट. और आउटर कॉन्सेप्ट जो है हमारा वो बाय नेचर ही टेम्पररी है. हैप्पीनेस लिंक टू दिस टेम्पररी इज ऑल्सो टेम्पररी, बिकॉज टेम्पररी क्रिएट्स टेम्पररी एंड परमानेंट क्रिएट परमानेंस. So we have to understand, if soul is permanent, anything that will come from the soul will also be permanent, because the nature of soul is permanent. Just like what is physical body? This hands, legs, eyes, ears, nose, skin, all the organs, all this is a physical gross body. And there is a subtle body, mind, intelligence, these are all subtle body. And this physical and subtle body all together is like a vehicle for the soul. Is like a carrier. ये carry कर रहा है soul को. It's a vehicle for the soul to achieve certain purpose. It's like this. Take an example of a water bottle. There is a purpose of water bottle to help the water in its purpose. Water का purpose क्या है? Water का purpose है किसी की thirst को वो मिटा दे. The purpose of water is to serve somebody from his thirst. And the purpose of bottle is to carry the water so that somebody can lift the bottle and gulp that water. And the purpose of water is salt. Right? Same way, body is like this bottle. and the soul is like the water. Soul is giving the meaning to the body, same as water is giving the meaning to the bottle. If there is no water inside the bottle, there is no meaning of the bottle. Bottle has no purpose. Same way, this body has no purpose if soul is not there. That's why we said to keep the body fit, as Subha explained in the last session, is extremely important, because अगर body fit नहीं होगा तो body उस purpose को fulfill नहीं करा पाएगी soul के. So all are important. It's important to nourish the body in the right way. It's important to nourish the soul in the right way. So then we'll be able to have the right purpose of our life. Only when the water is consumed by somebody, then the water can realize its constant happiness. किसी ने पानी को कंज्यूम किया तो उसका पर्पस सॉल्व हुआ, तब पानी का पर्पस सॉल्व हुआ तो उसको एक कांस्टेंट हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा. Otherwise, if pani is just lying there and nobody is consuming it, it's not happiness for the water, neither it is happiness for the bottle, because bottle का भी पर्पस सॉल्व नहीं हुआ, पानी का भी पर्पस सॉल्व नहीं हुआ. So it's very important that we relate to these analogies, that we start to see how we are the water and this body is the bottle. This body as a bottle, a big bottle, is carrying us. Is carrying us. Us means water, for a special purpose, that we are going to be consumed by somebody. We are here for serving somebody. किसी का प्यास, किसी के thirst मिटाने के लिए. So we'll also discuss कि वो किसको serve करना है हमने. When we talk about the purpose of life, please do not think something very heavy in your heart. Or it's such a big thing, purpose of life. I don't want to, I'm so young right now, I don't want to talk about purpose of life. I don't have the time to think about this. I just want to enjoy my life. So let's not look at it like this. Actually, when we establish a purpose of life, we will be able to achieve constant happiness all the time. Only then we'll be able to achieve the constant happiness. Rather, when we don't have a purpose in life, then we are always in anxiety, always. We'll have happiness for some time and then we'll have the anxiety again, because there is no purpose. There is no deeper, higher purpose. Our purpose is only at the gross level. So now we go and see what is the purpose from the spiritual eyes, as we discussed. So all the bona fide religions and bona fide scriptures like Holy Bhagavad Gita, Holy Bible, they all say that we are all soul residing in this body. So they all say that soul is residing in this body, and when we die, this body is still there, and that energy that leaves the body is soul. That is our true existence. And other thing that all the scriptures and all the religions they teach us is that our purpose of life is to re-establish our loving connection with God and finally go back to home where we belong. When we read Bhagavad Gita, we'll understand how there are three stages of establishing this relationship with God. First stage is called Sambandh Gyan. Sambandh means relationship, Gyan means knowledge. So the knowledge of the relationship. What is a relationship with God? First we establish what is a relationship with God. तो भगवान के साथ हम जिस रिलेशनशिप में हमारे को संबंध पता लग गया हमारा, जैसे मेरे पेरेंट्स कौन है, मेरे बच्चे कौन है, या मेरी कंट्री है ये, इंडिया इज माय कंट्री. सो ऑल द रिलेशनशिप दैट वी हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड, वी हैव गॉट सम काइंड ऑफ इमोशन फॉर देम. Same way, we have to understand, and we have to understand our relationship with God. That's called Sambandh Gyan. That's the first step. And then as we move forward, we'll have the second step, which is called Abhideya. Abhideya means we start acting in that relationship. We know exactly what to do in that relationship. That is called Abhideya. Then the third step and the final step is when we develop and experience the love for God. And that is the final goal or the final purpose of life. It is called Prayojana. So these are the three steps. So which means the final purpose of life is achieved when we understand these from the scriptures. And only we can understand. We discussed it in all the last sessions that out of 84 lakh species, humans are the privileged ones who can actually understand. They have the higher intelligence. All the other species, if you bring the cats and dogs and tell them, Mr. Dog, you are not body, you are the soul. He will not be able to understand that. He is not blessed with that intelligence. You know, even if you get the complete classroom of dogs, they will not be able to understand. Even if they discuss with each other, they will not be able to. So it's very important to understand that how precious is this human life. If you remember that temple, 34 lakh steps, and then we are on the top of that temple, top stairs of that temple. You see, it's very important that we should know that how blessed we are to achieve the purpose of our life. We are at the final stage now. And somebody asked me 2 days back, how much time it will take to achieve the purpose of our life? That's a good question. So what does it depend on? Ourselves. Yes, absolutely right. Sincerity. So it depends on our sincerity. Because you see, God is there. Bhagwan to hai. Human birth हमें मिल गया है. We've got the human birth. Human birth is there. And which is the fastest vehicle to reach there. And yet we are closest to God on the last ladder. And Bhagavad Gita is there, where Lord Krishna himself is guiding what are the next steps to reach to him. So God is there, human life is there, and the knowledge to reach there directly coming from God is also there. So what do we miss? What do we miss? Only sincerity and surrender to Bhagavad Gita. That's it. We just need now sincerity. We are just so close now. So what does Lord Krishna say is our next practical step towards this? Now that we are on the last ladder, वो क्या बता रहे हैं कि हमें क्या steps लेने हैं अभी, कैसे हम वहाँ पहुँच सकते हैं? Fortunately, he is not asking us to leave our homes and go to forest and start chanting there. He wants us to stay here where we are and dovetail all our actions to him. Do you know the meaning of dovetailing? Dovetail like this. जोड़ देना भगवान से. जैसे चेन आपस में जुड़ी हुई होती है, भगवान से जोड़ देना. This dovetailing is called Karam Yoga. We all know what is Karam. Karam means action. So, action. And we all know also what is Yoga. Yoga means union with God. So, all the Karam, all the actions that are helping us in being closer to God, being in union with God, that is Karam Yoga. Actions that brings us close to God is Karam Yoga. In other words, we keep doing what we are doing and always remember Him. We keep doing what we are doing and offer the results of our action to Him. Why do we offer everything to God? क्यों भगवान को ऑफर करें हम लोग? जब हमने मेहनत किया है तो भगवान को क्यों ऑफर करें? Because everything belongs to Him. आप देखिए, हमने लास्ट टाइम डिस्कस किया था, we have not ordered this body, we have not ordered this intelligence, we have not ordered these parents, this house, nothing. Chapter 7.4, God says, as Subha had discussed also on that day, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. तो हमारा जितना भी बॉडी है, सटल बॉडी, ग्रॉस बॉडी, भगवान ने ये बोला कि वो तो उनका है. उसके अंदर क्या है? सोल, वो भी भगवान का पार्ट है. तो हमारा है क्या इसमें? कुछ भी नहीं है. So you can say that this hand is actually not my hand. This is God's hand. This heart is not my heart. This is God's heart. ये भगवान का ये सब कुछ. He is the real owner of everything that exists. सब कुछ उनके कंट्रोल में चल रहा है. सब कुछ इनको बिलोंग करता है. अगर वो सब कुछ उनका है तो is it not logical that he should be enjoying all this? He is a proprietor and we should be doing everything for his enjoyment. जब हम उनकी enjoyment के लिए करते हैं, सारे काम अपने डबटेल कर देते हैं, तो उसको हम कर्म योगा बोलते हैं. That true happiness, that constant happiness of purpose of life, that comes only at that moment. वो वक्त होता है जब हम constant happiness को experience करते हैं, जब हम अपने खुद के प्लान से नहीं चल रहे होते हैं, हम भगवान से डबटेल हो जाते हैं कि भगवान का प्लान है, इसके साथ में हमें चलना है. जैसे हम लोग एक लाइन बनाते हैं लाइफ के अंदर, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसे हमारा घर में परिवार ऐसा होना चाहिए, बच्चे ऐसे होना चाहिए, बच्चे तो बिल्कुल बेस्ट होने चाहिए हमारे, इससे मतलब हमसे अच्छे बच्चे किसी के नहीं होने चाहिए. और बच्चे सोचते हैं मेरे पेरेंट्स बेस्ट होने चाहिए, जो मैं मांगूँ वो मिल जाए मेरे को. उसके बाद हम सोचते हैं कि हमारे को लाइफ में इतना सारा इनकम आ जाए, सब कुछ हम लोग बेस्ट एकदम लाइफ बना लेते हैं. एक लेट्स ड्रॉ दिस लाइन, वी कॉल इट ए ब्लू लाइन. हमने एक ब्लू लाइन ड्रॉ कर दिया, लेकिन भगवान का लाइन तो कुछ और होता है. भगवान का लाइन तो ग्रीन लाइन है, कहीं से भी आ रहा है, हमारी कार्मिक लाइन है एक्चुअली वो. तो हमने जो कर्म किए हैं, तो हम लोग ब्लू लाइन ड्रॉ करने से क्या करते हैं, अपने एक्सपेक्टेशंस बना लेते हैं. दिस इज अ लाइन ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस. हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि ऐसा होगा तो अच्छा होगा, ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो बुरा होगा. और जब दूसरी लाइन आती है, ग्रीन लाइन, वो उसको क्रॉस करती है जब, तो लगता है वेरी नाइस, खुशी आ गई. और जब वो क्रॉस करके नीचे चली जाती है, ऊपर चली जाती है, तो हमें लगता है कि अरे ये तो गलत जा रही है, इट्स नॉट हैप्पीनेस. नो, वी हैव टू लिव आवर लाइफ ऑन द ग्रीन लाइन. जो ग्रीन लाइन भगवान की लाइन है, उस लाइन पे हमें जीना सीखना है जिंदगी को. यानी कि हमें एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं बनानी है, हमें एक्सेप्टेंस लानी है. हमें हर चीज में एक्सेप्टेंस लानी है, तभी हम खुश रह पाएंगे. So our expectations is the root cause of a lot of attachments and anger and all of those ego, greed, all of that comes because we plan and start expecting a lot. So उस लाइन को हमें रब करना है और ग्रीन लाइन के ऊपर जाके बैठना है. That is कर्म योगा. We have to see God's hand in everything. So for example, Radhika, you want to become a singer. So when you become a singer, that's, let's say, a purpose of your life. How do you see this as a Karam Yoga? Now you should always remember Krishna's hand in everything. You should always remember this voice is not mine. This voice is Krishna's voice. It's him who is singing through me. वो गा रहे हैं मेरे through. I'm so fortunate that he chose me as an instrument. The purpose of my life is to spread this message of God and spread the spirituality through those songs. So that is how we have to see. So whatever little money that we make, little or more money, whatever we make, that is all dedicated to the spreading of His holy name, because it's all His. This entire thing, that entire existence, my own existence, all is actually His creation. I am His creation. So it means I have to do whatever I do for His pleasure. So हमें भगवत गीता जब पढ़ेंगे तो हमें exactly पता लगेगा भगवान क्या बोल रहे हैं, कि वो किस चीज से प्लीज होते हैं. What pleases Him. But one thing is sure, God is always pleased when we are spreading the spirituality. God is always pleased when we spread Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita का जो संवाद है भगवान के और अर्जुन के बीच में, जब उसको स्प्रेड करते हैं तो भगवान कहते हैं जो इसको स्प्रेड करता है डिवोटीज को, ना तो मुझे उससे कोई प्रिय है ना कोई होगा. तो इसलिए we have to spread this. If we want to become the dearest to the God, then we have to spread spirituality. We have to spread the message of God, message of Bhagavad Gita. If some one of you, I don't know who, but wants to become a businessman, for example. Now Krishna does not say that you don't do business. You can do the business by the fair means and then keep Krishna as a center, thinking your office as a mandir. Just like a temple president is going to the temple to do his preachings, same way you are going to the office thinking that you are the president of this temple and my office is a temple. And when you go to your temple, then you work like that only. That the purpose of this office is to help the preachers in their preachings, to help the brahmanas to spread the spirituality. पहले जो बिजनेसमैन होते थे उनका यही काम होता था. तो भगवान ने बोला कृषि गोरक्षा वाणिज्यम. हमें क्या करना है, वैदिक सिविलाइजेशन के अंदर जो वैश्य का, बिजनेसमैन का धर्म होता था, वो क्या होता था, फार्मिंग करना, गोरक्षा काउ प्रोटेक्शन करना, वाणिज्य मतलब व्यापार करना, ट्रेडिंग करना. तो ये करने के बाद क्या करते हैं, जितने ब्राह्मण होते हैं जो भगवान का शिक्षा दे रहे होते हैं, ज्ञान दे रहे होते हैं, उनको सपोर्ट करना, ब्राह्मणों की सेवा करना, मंदिरों को बनवाना, स्क्रिप्चर्स को सर्कुलेट करना, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कराना. दैट इज रियली द पर्पस ऑफ बिकमिंग ए बिजनेसमैन. सो यू मेक ए लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड देन गिव दैट मनी फॉर द सोशल बेनिफिट. बिकॉज देखिए, व्हाट कैन बेनिफिट द ह्यूमंस. हमने देखा at the material level, you can give them a bread for a day, you can feed them, fine. But actually the real feed is required for the soul. What is hungry is soul. We have to give them the knowledge. Only knowledge can feed them. And that knowledge is the knowledge of spirituality. In whatever way it goes through the Bhagavad Gita, it goes through the taking the holy names. We have to purify these souls so that they can go back to Godhead. So this is the real way of doing business. Then some of you wants to become educated, just like Gopi, Tisya, Akshat. you all want to become educator. Like Subha has become an educator. So you must educate yourself with excellent communication skills if you are looking at becoming an educator. Whatever field you become an educator in, you must know how to make the YouTube films, how you should know. All these material skills are very important. You can't ignore them because you can utilize all of this in Krishna's seva. Because अगर आपको educator बन करके, if you have to spread the name, holy name of the Lord, then you need all this. So just like Subha is now treating people's health, and then in the same workshop she will say, oh, now you have to also think about the soul. Finally, everybody chant the holy names and they come out. So finally, then we have started to take the Bhagavad Gita classes also for those people. So this is a process, how you engage these people eventually into spirituality. Then God is pleased. And once God is pleased with your services, then that's a constant pleasure. Because if God is pleased, the pleasure is transferring to you. We've been really taught by the society and the education and our culture that only by gratifying our senses, bodily senses, we can get the happiness. So we start to believe in that blindly. But we never experience constant happiness, constant pleasure in that. We know all of us, we know that. And in fact, we have not even ever experienced what is a constant pleasure, constant happiness. So that's what spiritual education gives. Constant happiness, no matter what is happening outside. हार रहे हैं, जीत रहे हैं, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. कोई चीज मिल रही है, नहीं मिल रही है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Because you actually start to realize that you are happiness. Why I invited all the parents today is also because today I want to share a bit of my own purpose. Why am I doing what am I doing? So for most of you, you would know that I'm born in a business family and I did business for 25 years of my life. My journey has been full of realizations, full of transformations. When I started doing business and I moved to US in 2004 and again to expand my business. So there was a very big business and I still wanted to make it bigger. But I was not in Krishna consciousness. I had no knowledge about spirituality at that time. So I just wanted to make it for myself because it used to gratify me a lot. So, but I was never ever happy. I was never happy. I was always in stress, anxiety, deep anxiety. There was so much of money, but I was never happy. So money was not giving me any happiness. Very, very big business we were doing, and I wanted to actually list the company on the New York Stock Exchange. I always felt so stressful that I felt that I am decaying from inside, as if my body is going to one day just tear off. It was so much of, let's say, stress and anxiety I was holding inside my body. Now, one day what happened, one of my designer from my company and now my friend Kunal, he came to New York. We were doing some project together, and he gave me Bhagavad Gita. That was way back in 2005, and he gave me Bhagavad Gita, and he said, "Okay, read this." And I started reading second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and it used to just elevate my mind so much. I used to feel so much calm, so much at peace suddenly, and that is the beginning of my spiritual journey. And I hardly felt any stress after that. I forgot what the stress is because it just instantly takes you to a different plane. When I came back to India, actually I came back for 10 days for to meet my family here. And in those 10 days, Kunal again insisted me to do a Bhagavad Gita course of 7 days, which was happening during those days. And after doing that course, I was completely into this. I thought there's nothing that could be, more meaningful than this. And all glories to my masters. The first master who I met, His Grace Rukmani Krishna Prabhuji, who actually got me into spirituality, who was the first one, my first mentor, guide, my master, and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He's more than my father. He's more than anybody on this planet to me. His love for me is truly spiritual. When I sit with him, I have never experienced any soul, anybody who can give me that love when I sit with him, what I experience at that moment. So that is truly spiritual. It's due to his mercy and his guidance that I kept doing business during all these years and started to make my life simpler and simpler. And soon I started to share these spiritual values in my family. Again, it's all his divine mercy because of which it all happened. And also in the company, some 3-4 years ago, we started to have a weekly Bhagavad Gita class. So we'll have 2 hours class every Monday morning. 2 hours we'll just do Bhagavad Gita class. And I started to see so much of pleasure in giving this knowledge that nothing actually was more divine than this. So now this knowledge, more and more now I'm experiencing this, and more I feel so much of bliss inside by sharing this knowledge, that I want to spread this to the youth. Because when I saw that how Subha got it, and how Ishat, my son, is getting it, and I see also Akshat how he is getting it, and everybody, the younger generation is so much more open to learn this, purer, uncontaminated, and this is what I feel. I am so inspired that how I can run this Vedanta Valley as where I can help some 20-30 super leaders to come in next 12 to 18 months. And God knows what are his plans, of course, but something which is an inspiration due to the mercy of my Guru Maharaj and Lord Krishna's mercy. I'm inspired to become an instrument to help and guide these 20-30 super leaders. I've not made many big plans, but I'll share with you something that I've been thinking about so that you know exactly what is this education for Krishna. This is a name given, Vedanta Valley, that you see is the name of the group. It's like a bash of this, but this is called For Krishna. What we are doing here is it's an alternate education, holistic and value-based education system for 12 years and above. It's based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita and the other Vedic scriptures. This online education is specially designed to provide value-based education to teenagers of this modern society. Along with the Vedic education, students will also be given the skill training in the field of communication, management, improved concentration, and more. So we encourage the parents also to join these sessions along with the children. This helps in building the common family values. But today I'll share with you what all that you can learn from this platform. Now, these are the areas that we will be working on. Knowledge. First, we'll be giving knowledge. Then realizations. I'll discuss each one of them in detail. Then information. And what is information? Skills, habits, Navda Bhakti, and association. Right now, what we see 52 weeks course is something that we have started now. And in this 52 weeks courses, we'll have 150, close to 150 sessions. Then these will be other courses like concentration and becoming an orator. All these could be 5 days, 7 days courses, learning pranayam, how to become the compassionate leader. So let's see one by one, what is it that we are doing in this? So knowledge. What do we call as knowledge? Knowledge is only spiritual. We'll see different parts of the education that you'll be getting. This is the most important one, of course, knowledge, which is a spiritual knowledge. Knowledge cannot be material. That's all information. That could be skills, but not the knowledge. Knowledge is infallible. So now this knowledge that we'll be discussing we are already going through that, is based on Bhagavad Gita, the words of the Lord, and Srimad Bhagavatam, the words about Lord. So हम इस session में, in the first 1 year, we'll be doing Bhagavad Gita, and then in the next year, we'll be doing Srimad Bhagavatam. So this knowledge is about knowing the self, soul. Self means soul, knowing God, and knowing the relationship between the two, and fulfilling the purpose of this life by loving the God. Now, what is realizations? An act of becoming fully aware about something as a fact. This spiritual knowledge is realized, it's not learned. Because spiritual knowledge is already inside us. ये हमारे अंदर है. Sat Chit Anand. Chit part is knowledge. We have to just realize this knowledge. And there is a deep process of realizing things. Learning things is very different from realizing things. You see, it's like if you're sometimes sorry about somebody, or you feel gratitude about something, then you might just say thank you, or you might just say sorry, but you don't realize it from deep inside. लेकिन आप किसी को जब डीपली रियलाइज करके, उस बात को रियलाइज करके जब ग्रैटिट्यूड एक्सप्रेस करते हो, तो वो दैट्स वेरी डिफरेंट. सो सेम वे, हाउ much we are aware, fully aware of something as a fact. Like, for example, soul. We all say, oh, we are a soul, we're not this body. Yeah, but this matter of self-realization that we are a soul is a very deep subject. Self-realization, Atma Sakshatkar. That's a very evolved stage of consciousness. So, realization is a very important word. So, our knowledge is going to be received via realization, not via learning. So realization will come from internal eyes. How do you internalize? By seeing through your internal eyes. So right now, we are seeing everything from our external eyes, the gross eyes. हम सब कुछ बाहर देखते हैं. We see everything outwards. We have to learn how to see inwards. जब हम inwards देखना शुरू करेंगे, internalize करेंगे चीज़ों को, with our internal eyes से हम internalize करेंगे, then we'll be able to actually realize things. Realization is an outcome of internalization. And जब realization करेंगे तो क्या होगा? Transformations आएंगी हमारी life में. We'll be able to transform our life towards good. And spiritual realization will free us from fears, anxieties, and all negative emotions. Because when you have the spiritual realizations, when you start to believe that you are a soul, then you will not have any fear, because soul is fearless. And if you go deeper into your realization, it empowers your intelligence. Basically, the mind is a victim in the hands of intelligence. Intelligence is superior to mind. If intelligence is purified, intelligence is empowered, then it can completely control the mind. Mind can become our best friend, not the enemy. So, when intelligence takes it, intelligence gets the spiritual realization, it is able to discriminate between the right and wrong, and it gets a lot of determination to control the mind. तो mind पूरा purify हो जाता है, purify होकर control में आ जाता है. That's what happens when we go through deeper spiritual realizations. You see, so many yogis, so many saintly people, how they are able to control their mind so much, because they have gone into the deeper realizations, and that's why they're also experiencing the ecstatic bliss, because they go into spiritual realizations. And deepest realizations are self-realization. जब हम पूरी तरह से बिलीव कर जाएंगे, देख पाएंगे इस फैक्ट को कि हम आत्मा हैं, हम शरीर नहीं हैं, हम शरीर से ऊपर, इस शरीर के ऊपर उठ जाएंगे. And then eventually God realization, how we are able to realize God. And this process of realization is not same as the process of learning. So we have to really understand this part. Now the next point that you will learn from here is information. See, we are living in this worldly, we also need worldly information, because we are living in this world. You know, we have duties towards these people who we have to serve. They're all here. So we cannot ignore their language. If they know something, we should also know those legitimate things. At least we should know about this world also. We cannot leave this world. जैसे भगवान ने कहा है कर्म योगा करना है तो यहीं रह के करना है. तो we have to have the information of this world. So information आपको मिलेगा sustainability के ऊपर. From a very small thing like plastic को use को लेकर के biggest sustainability issues of this modern world and its solutions. Basically इस modern world में क्या क्या sustainability issues हैं, वो सब information है. That's not knowledge. Again, that's not something which is coming from scriptures. But we should know what's happening today in this world. सस्टेनेबिलिटी कैसे आ सकता है इसके अंदर. ऐसे सिविलाइजेशन के ऊपर ट्रू इन्फॉर्मेशन अबाउट सिविलाइजेशंस, कैसे ये सिविलाइजेशंस आती हैं, डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन आई, फिर कोलैप्स हुई, तो हाउ दे केम इनटू बीइंग एंड व्हाई दे कोलैप्स्ड, ऑल ऑफ दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन you can have it from here. All information on organic farming, soil, it may not sound relevant to you, but you will see how it is so important for us to know how the green revolution came into being and what it did to us. So we should know all this. This information is very important. Otherwise, we'll actually live with the wrong information which is given to us. Then we will also know something basic about geography and the basic different cultures, world cultures. We'll also understand in this, we'll also have sessions from special masters on economics and banking. So you know exactly how these economies work, they function, what is the role of at least those who are going to do business, especially we can take up these sessions for them. Then there will be skill development. So, especially communication skills from a small presentation to script writing to video filming to content design, content marketing, all of that will be a part of this course in next 2 years. In this year, I'll see how much we can do, but in the next year, we'll do the advanced version of that because we have gone through all of this education while building Sattvic movement with Subha and also my own 25 years of experience in business. So I would like to put all of that together and give it to all of you so that you can utilize that. Then, and also we'll be hiring some real masters of these subject matters, some from India, some from outside of India, who will be teaching all of you. So then interpersonal skills, like we have books like from Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People and Highly Effective Teenagers. All of that is something, again, there'll be sessions on those. There'll be masters who will be talking about that. And concentration and absorption, it's very important subject, how to live in a constant absorption. Whether we are doing chanting or whether we are reading a book, it's very important. It's like if knowledge is the basis of our life, then concentration is the door to the knowledge. If we don't have concentration, we'll not be able to have the knowledge. If we don't have the absorption also in our chanting, in our reading, then we'll not be able to have the real realization of the knowledge. So internalize करने के लिए भी हमें concentrate करना सीखना होगा. So concentration is a very important skill. Some yogic kriya है जिसको करके we can increase your concentration. We will be teaching all of you in all these skills. Then leadership skills. How you can make principle centered leaders and compassionate leaders. All those skills will be given to you. Then time management. Actually, I don't call it time management. It's just for the reference, but it's self management because you cannot manage the time. You can only manage the self according to the time. Then kirtan, music skills, community building skills. Community building skills, how you can really build a large community and then serve the community by giving them Krishna consciousness. So all of those are special subjects that will be taught here. And so many habit development. So we believe that it's everything has to come in the habits. Otherwise, knowledge will remain knowledge and information will remain information unless it comes into the daily habits. So small habits like even eating habits, what to eat. Like Subha was explaining yesterday, what is the wholesome food, all of that. What is the right food for the body and how to eat. Even how to offer it to God. How to eat means पहले भगवान को ऑफर करना है, कैसे करना है, how to do that, in what state we have to eat, mindful eating, how to always eat in the feeling of gratitude, कैसे भगवान उसका क्या फर्क पड़ता है हमारा, chew कितना करना होता है. It's like they say that our teeth are like the grinders, inner organs where the digestion happens, that is really the oven. It is not a grinding place. So we have to grind everything here and just heat it there. So when we do the mindful eating with proper chewing, we'll not have the health issues. These are small things which are the habits. Then exercise habits, Surya Namaskar, how Surya Namaskar is so helpful, sunbathing, sun gazing, sleeping habits, what time to get up and what time to sleep, technology habit, mobile phone, how long you can have mobile phone and what is the fasting for the mobile phone, 16-hour fasting for mobile phone, what time you have to leave it and what time then in the morning you have to take it. So all those things, laptop association, how much you can associate, because apart from the association, these laptops, these are also giving a lot of unwanted vibrations, radiations. Those things are not good for us, our body. Gratitude habits, Ekadashi habit, hearing and reading habits, chanting habits, all of these, they are about 35 habits that can be totally life-changing. And slowly we can develop all these habits. Then Navda Bhakti. I'm not going into detail of this. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the Lords. So this is very, very important that finally this is a process of establishing that love for God. So now we are hearing and most of us are chanting also, but we have to go through all the 9 steps slowly. Then association, we'll be doing some workshops where we'll be all meeting together once in 2 months. When all the families meet, we'll have Kirtan programs, we'll have the vacations together, 3 to 10 days vacation. So all of this is something which is going to be a part of this entire education. So this education, it is going to be based on the purpose of life, where Bhagavad Gita is helping us to get the purpose of life, teach us Karam Yoga. Then to do that Karam Yoga, we need some certain tools and skills and information. All of that will be a part of this education, and that will make you the super leaders who will be running your own organizations, just like Subha is running her own organization now. Ishat is already preparing his own organization now. You'll be running your own organizations, and you will be truly inspired because you are doing it for a real purpose, and you'll be in constant happiness, constant bliss. I see that. I see that in Subha. I see that in my son Ishat. I see that in many devotees, so many devotees. It's just because we are so fortunate we got this path. So I want to just give this incredible path to all of you. So what do you see in this? Krishna. K stands for knowledge, R stands for realizations, I stands for information, S stands for skills, H is habit, N is Navda Bhakti, and A is association. And everything is for Krishna. Everything is for Krishna. This world is for Krishna. You are for Krishna. I am for Krishna. We all are for Krishna. So that's why this name is for Krishna. Thank you all for being a part of this journey. And I would need a lot of support from the parents. I would need a lot of sincerity in all of you to be able to achieve what we are planning together. But once we achieve this, there is nothing more blissful than this. There is nothing more purposeful than this. No education I see can actually give this what Bhagavad Gita and all these scriptures can give us. And you will start to experience so much of ecstatic bliss in this knowledge. Thank you so much. So we bring our session to an end now. And I request Radhika to conclude with the small kirtan.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'll do it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.